Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Sean-Ryan Petersen hanging with your boy Galaxy on the ever-wonderful Comic-Con Radio.
Victor and Valentino are brothers, and they're coming to Cartoon Network.
I'm Val. This is Vic.
This is their friend, Aji. This is their grandmother.
Oh, I love those boys.
They live in Monte Macabre, a nice small town with lots of kids to play with.
Did I win?
And where there are portals to other dimensions.
Whoa.
And where ancient spirits come to life.
Are we gonna get into an adventure? Or are we just gonna get in trouble?
Is that a chupacabra? Whoa! Look out for that guy!
Run!
What is that thing?
Look out!
Adventure has a new name. Victor and Valentino. Two new names. Victor and Valentino. The adventure begins in March on your Cartoon Network. Are you down?
I'm down.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Galaxy signing in for Comic-Con Radio. Coverage of pop culture events from around the globe. Amazing interviews with celebrities. Daily recaps and reviews of popular television. Movie reviews. Everything Comic-Con and fandom from around the globe. Comic-Con Radio. Get ready to enter our universe. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is your boy Galaxy for another amazing episode of Comic-Con Radio. Today we have this young gentleman. He's on cool TV shows, tons of projects, and trying to do his thing. Today we have Sean-Ryan Petersen on Comic-Con Radio. What's up, buddy?
Hello, Comic-Con Radio. It's me, Sean-Ryan Petersen. How y'all doing today?
Pretty good, pretty good. So, what's going on with you?
Well, recently I've been working on Victor and Valentino as Valentino, and it's been an absolutely amazing time. I've gotten to meet some incredible people, recorded some awesome episodes, including upcoming ones that I can't wait for y'all to see. Season 2 is coming around the corner, and I'm just excited to continue sharing my love for this project with all of you.
And for people that don't know of that cartoon, what is that about?
Victor and Valentino is a show on Cartoon Network as well as on Hulu that follows two half-brothers, one named Victor, one named Valentino, as they stay with their grandma in a small town called Monte Macabre. The town is surrounded by folklore, monsters, and myths from Mesoamerican culture, and the boys find themselves dealing with these monsters and myths more often than not. Sometimes it's their fallen ancient evil awoken, and it's usually up to them to put it back to sleep. There's a lot of adventures that you follow these boys on, and I can't wait to share the rest of them with you.
That's pretty cool, man. So you do a voice of a cartoon. It's doing amazing. And how did you get into that?
Well, I've actually been in voiceover for about 10 years. It's been a long time. Now, when Victor and Valentino came around, it was an amazing audition process. I got to meet the whole cast, the wonderful Colette Sunderman, and the big boss man Diego Milano himself. And when I eventually got around to booking Valentino, I was so excited to work for the TV channel I've always wanted to work for since I first started out. Because, as it turns out, I actually got into acting because I wanted to be on cartoons. I wanted to be a voice actor.
So that was your whole thing. Ever since you were a kid, you're like, okay, I want to be an actor, but most of all, I want to be a voice actor.
Yep. I was sitting there. It was a Saturday morning, I believe. I was watching some cartoons. It might have been Pokemon or one of the original Yu-Gi-Oh series. And I was like, you know what, Mom? I want to be a voice actor. And it's been 10 years since.
That's nice. And you're a young dude, so that means you started at a very young age.
Yeah, it was quite the young age, but my family wholeheartedly supported me throughout this whole process. And, you know, without them, I doubt I'd be where I am now.
Pretty cool that they're supportive. And where you're from, was there a lot of people in voice acting?
You know, I would occasionally run into actors, but it was more in the audition room than outside of. It took a little while for me to start getting really involved with groups like the SAG-AFTRA Looking Ahead Foundation, where it's a fun support friend group for young child actors. But when I'd go to school, per se, I wouldn't run into a lot of actors. It'd be the occasional one or two, but I always found myself the youngest at like my elementary school thinking about stuff like being an actor.
So you're a kid, you were in elementary school, and you're watching all these cartoons and everything. You're like, I want to do that voice. Did you ever do any like funny voices? Can you do any impersonations?
You know, I actually can't do a lot of funny voices. You know, honey, it takes a little while to learn how to do them. Oh, boy. But, it comes with the territory. When I was a kid, I mostly just did a lot of high-pitched child cartoons. My first job was actually for a PBS dub of an Australian child show called Olly Dive, which was just really high-pitched, high energy. It was a lot of fun, and I couldn't have asked for a better first job.
Victor and Valentino is basically your big, huge moment. When you got that role, how did you feel?
It's kind of hard to put that kind of feeling in words. After so long at being at it, when you hear, one, that you've booked a main character, two, for the channel you've always wanted to work for, three, for a project that looks absolutely amazing, it sort of just took my breath away. And even a week later, I was like, Mom, that happened. And she's like, yeah, it did.
Your parents were like, hey, this is something he can really do. It's not just a hobby. So it must feel really good. So being on that cartoon, what are some of the things that you do? Do you get into a certain mindset? Like when you get there, you already have your system down, or are you still kind of nervous every time you go on set?
Actually, I'm not really nervous when I go on set anymore. But let's just say Valentino is definitely a special case. Me and him, we're basically the same person. He's got a coin collection. I've got a coin collection. He likes taking photographs of beautiful places. I like taking photographs of beautiful places. It's a very sort of symbiotic, special kind of relationship. When I go in there, his voice is basically my own, just a little bit pitched up and focusing on sounding more intellectual, pronunciating words certain ways. And, well, the reads are always coming out great anyways because we record as a cast. All the characters there. Diego's there recording Victor, Christina V's there recording maybe Silchi, Don Jalapeno, Jason Hightower, they're also the same person. I love Jason. We're all just there in the booth, reading off each other, vibing off each other, and it's just a great experience overall.
So when you record Victor and Valentino, do you guys go in little separate rooms, or you guys record together to feel the energy like you just mentioned?
Yeah, we're in a recording room together. There's like about 4 or 5 mics all lined up, side to side to side to side to side, and we just record. We look at each other, we do hand motions. It's very physical acting. As much as there's no camera recording you, we're still moving about to get those vibes, to get it to sound as realistic as possible. Real emotion, real breath. It's just, it's a fun process.
And that is basically on its second season?
We got greenlit for our second season, but we don't have any episodes out for it yet. We're still releasing the majority of the first season.
And you get to go to a lot of like Cartoon Network shindigs. Have you met anybody that you really look up to in the voice world?
I have met a lot of people I looked up into the voice world. For one, there was Tom Kenny, the SpongeBob, and when I first met him, I'm like, wow, you recorded the majority of my childhood. Or people like Yuri Lowenthal, who did voices for all these amazing games, especially the Persona games, which I love so dearly. My growing up was a lot of video games and a lot of cartoons, so meeting these people as they slowly come on to play characters on the show is just, wow.
You're mesmerized because you were looking up to these people. I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't really chatted with a lot of people that said, hey, when I was a little kid, I wanted to be a voice actor. It's a very rare thing. Do you see a lot of young kids wanting to do that, or is like rare like I've noticed?
I think it's kind of rare. It usually starts out with them on camera auditions, like, oh, I want to be on the big screen. And then they're like, you know what, I want to try being a voice actor. It's never really the inverse. I do agree with you that I find myself to be a rare case, but there are plenty of people ranging in age from adults to teens to some kids as young as me who do think, you know what, I do want to start as voice acting, or they start on camera and decide after going into voiceover that that's where they want to stay.
And your co-star, Victor, Diego Milano, he actually created this cartoon. So how cool is that to have the creator of this cartoon is your counterpart? Does that help you a lot? Is that really cool for you?
Of course. It's an incredible experience. In fact, the notes he gives me are what make some of the best reads. He's like, hey, do it like this. And he has all these ideas running through his head as I'm recording, as everyone's recording, because he knows exactly what he wants. He put that character on the paper, and he's the one who knows exactly what they want to sound like. He is the mastermind. But yeah, he's an amazing man, and I'm so happy that he's involved with this project in more than a writing aspect. He's there recording Victor. It's his passion project, and I'm blessed and lucky to be on the show.
Any show that has the creator of the source material is very lucky. And this opportunity you have to actually work aside of someone like that. And it's a great cartoon. You do a great voice. You're very funny. Do a lot of kids look up to you? Do they notice that it's you? How does it feel? How's it going in that department?
First of all, congratulations on your comic, and thank you so much. You know, after Victor and Valentino came out, there was a small, start of a Victor and Valentino, hashtag on Instagram. All these people drawing fan art, and as they slowly connected the dots that I was Valentino, which sometimes with voice acting gigs, it does take a little bit for people to start connecting the face with the voice. They were like, wow, you inspire me, or thank you so much for doing the show. It brings me smiles. And that's all I ever wanted to do as a voice actor. When I meet these people like Tom Kenny, who made my entire childhood, who recorded and voiced my entire childhood, they're the reason I got into this. They made me smile. I want to get into this so I can do the same for other children and maybe inspire them to get into the industry in some aspect and follow their dreams. It's not an easy process. It's a long process. Like I said, I've been at it 10 years. I've been doing it from a very young age. And let's just say not every single year am I booking a new Victor and Valentino. It takes time, and I hope to make sure that everyone understands that they can follow their dreams and never give up, and understand that it takes time no matter what the field.
No, you're saying something really cool right here. You're telling them that it can happen, but it is a lot of hard work. It's a process, and it's coming from a young person like you. You know, you're a young dude. You're making it happen. But it still took you a long time. You said you've been doing this for a decade. That's a long time in any sense. It's like someone starting university and then getting their PhD. It's like that long of a time. So with anything, you got to put tons of effort. And like you said, there's not always a gig like this. So you hold on to it and you cherish it and you appreciate it. What advice can you give?
I don't know if you've heard this one before, but it is key to be a voice actor to have a toolbox of voices. The toolbox obviously being a metaphor for just a ton of voices in your head. Watch cartoons. Watch movies. Derive voices from what you hear on TV. Make original ones from what you hear on TV. You got to have all these voices on cue, ready to maintain while you do an audition, because your own singular natural voice won't always be enough for every role you get. You got to be able to adapt, to change, and be able to fit character descriptions or character needs.
Yeah, it's a process, and you got to be able to fit things. So, okay, another question. If a newbie is trying to get into voice acting, what do you think they should do? Because I know there's a really cool website that I recommend to people, and it really helps you out. It's by an amazing voice actor. He basically says, before you become a voice actor, you need to go ahead and kind of read through this. And it's called iwannabeavoiceactor.com. Have you ever heard of that?
Steve Bradley Baker's site.
Yes. He's amazing. And he created a site just to there's no money involved, no nothing. He's just saying, hey, read this. If you think this is for you, go ahead and do it. Do you recommend anything special? I know you said it's a lot of hard work, and I know you're saying they got to keep going to auditions, and you got to be readily available. Do you think they need to live in LA or a major hub city? That's one. Number two, what do you think they should start off with learning?
Okay, for starters, Dee Bradley's site is an amazing site, and any recommendation he gives you is a great recommendation to start with. Having a demo always helps, recording yourself, recording your voices, what you can do. Finding a coach is always nice. And it isn't necessary to be in LA or New York or some central hub for voice acting and acting in general. It never hurts. But that doesn't mean pack up all your stuff and move if you want to be a voice actor. That's the great thing about voice acting. You can be very, very mobile. You can just set up a recording studio in your house. Heck, even your phone with some nice quiet room. Just record yourself doing auditions and send them out. Finding an agent, of course, is always helpful. There is a difference between VO agents and theatrical. That is something very important to consider when you're going to an agency. You have to say, I am looking to join on the VO side of things. And they will help you get the auditions, which you can record anywhere. As long as you have a good voice and multiple voices, getting a demo usually helps with getting an agent.
Wow. I was watching America's Got Talent, and then for the first time ever, they have this voice actor on, and he does these, like, impersonations of movies and stuff like that. And he's gone so far ahead, and it proves to you that the voice world is such an important part of what we're doing, because people don't realize that every character, scenes, real movies, cartoons, whatever, such an important role in the entire entertainment world.
Oh, I absolutely agree. Animation is ever growing, and I am so happy to know that. We're going everywhere with streaming sites like Netflix and Hulu. You can suggest a show, and they'll help you make it. And it's showing everyone that cartoons and animation is hopefully where the future lies. And you're right, even in big on-screen live-action films, voice actors are behind it, making it better. Most of the crowds you hear in movies, those aren't the people that you see on screen. Those are voice actors coming in and doing ADR.
Do you ever put out any like videos or stuff of you voice acting, like making all these grunt sounds and like stuff like that?
Not really. Most of the time what we're working on is confidential to the point where I can't really post a video without maybe giving away what the project is. Sometimes I'm signing NDAs as I'm walking into the recording room, so I do what I can with what I've got available.
I get it.
Usually it's just a picture of me somewhere on the set being like, hey, working on this project, can't quite say what it is yet, but I'll let you know as soon as I can.
So there's a lot of things that you've been involved in. It's pretty cool. A lot of people probably don't realize that. They think that's that actor on screen doing it, but it's good old Sean-Ryan Petersen doing all that stuff.
Yep. Me and my fellow friends from ADR loop groups, we go in. They're like, hey, you, be guy in red shirt over there. You be guy in green shirt. You be girl in yellow shirt. And we're all like, all right, let's do this. And we walk by the mic. We whisper. We scream. We talk. Oh, no, there's a monster on screen. Ah! Stuff like that.
That's pretty cool, buddy. And you've actually voiced the Blackbox itself.
Yes. One of the few voice actor aspects of that series, back when I was recording it, I was still actually very young. I want to say that was my second or third major role. It was somewhere between Olly Dive and Martha and Friends that I was doing Blackbox. And I actually had a lot of fun doing that. I've never done such a creepy, dramatic role before. And just to do these little tidbits, these little narrates about how horrifying the upcoming episode's going to be was just a lot of fun. And I got to work with the creator himself. He was such a nice guy.
And he helped a lot, and he guided you. And everywhere you went, you just learned a little bit more and more and more and more, and you put it into your little box of voice stuff that you do.
I mean, he knew exactly what he wanted, and he was just there like, all right, now kind of say it like this. I'm like, all right, I got it.
So I have a question for you. Since you love the voice world so much, if any kind of like regular acting gigs come up, would you take it, or are you just straight up voice dude? Oh,
no. Any role that comes across my table, I will take and do. On camera, off camera, anything.
That's cool. So versatile. So you love the voice world and you're amazingly experienced in it. But what's in the projects for you, Sean? Like, what's in the bag? What's going on? Things that you could tell me. I'm not going to be too pushy.
Well, actually, here comes
squeeze things, but yeah.
I'm actually working on my own personal project right now, more on the writing side. And that one's under extreme development, and that's all I can really say about it. But I'm very excited to one day share with the world.
So right now, the main gig is Victor and Valentino. You're trying to grow that, and hopefully season 2 is launching pretty soon. Is there any movie brand that you want to get into as a voice actor or a face actor? What's something that you have a goal towards?
On camera or off camera, I would love to be in a Star Wars film. I think that'd be a ton of fun.
But, I just thought of that. Can you believe it? I was just thinking that in my head. I said, he's going to say Star Wars.
Well, I am a nerd first, everything else second.
Ditto.
I'd love to do some anime dubs. I am an avid anime watcher, so that'd be fun, too.
Do you also, like, read manga?
I do read manga. I've actually been to Japan before. I have some in Japanese manga sitting on my desk that I hope to one day translate.
Nice. Well, a cool acquaintance, friend, gentleman, buddy, His name is Bodhi JMS Writer. He writes the Curseborn Saga. He writes amazing manga. Have you ever got a chance to read the Curseborn Saga?
No, but now I have something to keep my eye out for.
Yeah, it's Bodhi, Bodhi Writer. He actually went to Japan, moved there, learned Japanese, lived with the monks in monasteries in Tibet or something like that, and then started writing his manga series books. Like, he actually went and lived that life, got into that mindset, went and lived in the mountains, and then he started writing manga books, which is so amazing. So, because I heard that you want to learn Japanese and you want to get into that world as well, which is really intriguing and amazing.
Hey there, that's very impressive. I love when a writer says, like, you know what, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it in full. And they go out and, like you said, they live this life. They're like, I'm going to get into the mindset of the characters I'm writing and get into this world and write from there. And it just seems so much better, so much more real, that kind of content. And if it ever gets a TV adaptation, you tell Bodhi, I would love to do a character.
That's cool, man. And I heard another thing. I heard that you design video games and you, like, designed one at age 9.
Yes, that was a long time ago. I made a little game called Egyptians Rise for my 4th grade project. And it was actually a hit. Can a 9-year-old design a video game in a week? And the answer is yes, I can.
That's pretty cool. So you kind of like, what did you do? Draw it out, design it? Did it ever get into like the game, like actual game situation? Did you actually ever got it coded, or it was just in like the idea process and you wrote it?
Oh, no. We used, I can't remember the program name, but we did make it into a game. A basic one-level shooter, but it was very complex, very interesting, and I was very happy with how it turned out.
That's pretty cool.
Now, I'm still kind of working on games. I'm still writing, mainly writing ideas. I've really got into writing characters. I have these funny, crazy dreams, and I'm like, you know what, this would make a fun game or show. And I write it down, and I'm just writing. I want to get back into the coding side of things as well.
Wow. You have a pretty good head on your shoulder. You're only 19 years old, and you speak like you're like 55. And that's what's probably gotten you so successful in what you're doing, because the people need to know landing a lead character in an animation series, it's not that easy. I heard 100 people apply for the same position, even more sometimes. Does it feel competitive sometimes, you think?
I think the nature of the business is competitive, baby. But yes, it is. For like a single main character on a sitcom for, like, let's say ABC, you have 10,000 applicants, of which about 5,000 get the audition, of which about 100 get the callback, of which about 10 get into the producer's room, of which, of course, 1 or maybe 5 get a table read, and then 1 gets booked. That's just how it all goes down. You're going to walk into any given room and see hundreds of people that look kind of sort of like you.
Does it trip you out when you see people looking like you?
You know, I think I've seen enough lookalikes to feel less weirded out by it. Sometimes I make friends with them when we go out for coffee and biscuits and whatnot.
You just said something to everyone that 10,000 people apply for a role. Isn't that crazy? Because, yeah, these companies, they have these, like, databases, and they'll just email random people saying there's a new role for so-and-so. And, yeah, you're right. At least 10,000. Because I've been to a lot of these audition places. I never went for auditions, but I've been there and I've seen it. And you're right. It's packed. But leading to that is probably such a huge process. And to get picked is like, I don't want to say winning the lottery, but it's like winning a prize. You're like the prize winner.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely winning a prize. See, some actors, and even I've been guilty of this on occasion, forget that, hey, being in this audition room means I was picked out of maybe 100,000 other people who look kind of sort of like me. And, like, wow. You're right. It's not like winning the lottery. Winning the lottery is of course, getting the job, but it's a prize. The prize to put yourself in front of that casting director. Because even in that of itself, if you do an amazing performance and you're just not right for the role, they'll think about you. You will forever be in their head. And they'll look at you and be like, hey, I remember this kid. He did a great performance. Let's call him back in for something else.
You never know what else they're casting for, and they'll just keep you in mind for that.
Yeah, there have been many cases of writing in or calling back for other jobs. Sometimes even in the same room, they'll be like, you weren't quite right for this. Go back outside into the audition room, take it as long as you need, and come back in and do this character instead. And that's an amazing case, and especially when you do such a good job that you forever remain in the back of their head. They'll call you back in, they'll write you in, they'll do whatever they need to get you to work for them if they really, really like you. So you just have to go in and wow them.
Yeah, that's really, really right. For Victor and Valentino,
Initially went out for Victor, but eventually got called in to play Valentino. And when I auditioned for him is when Colette was like, you did a great job, you really did your research, and you came and brought this own unique voice. And I think it was either that same night or the next night that I heard that I booked Valentino. And that was amazing. That was the best news I've ever heard. And it was just, I was elated. The whole vibe in my house was just, woo! Sorry if I blew out the...
They're like, yes, we get pizza now. Yeah. So can you do a little bit of Valentino's voice?
Vic, please, whatever you're doing, don't touch that glowing thing. Please.
That's pretty cool. You should call some of your friends sometimes. Well, they know it's you. Have you ever done that voice and ordered a pizza? Call them up and bug them with that voice. It's kind of cool. It's a cool voice. So you actually made that voice up in your mind when you went and auditioned, and they're like, that's Valentino.
As Diego described it to me one day, it was always sort of there. I just needed to refine it. There was already a YouTube short out where Valentino had been voiced by the wonderful Rico Rodriguez from Modern Family. And I used his voice as well as a combination of my own and my own interpretation to make this Valentino that Diego booked play the current character.
Nice. You were on a cartoon made by Martha Stewart. How was that?
That was actually a lot of
fun. Like
fun.
A subtle movement to Martha Stewart.
That was actually another dubbing project. Most of my early jobs were dubbing projects where the animation's already there and I have to match lip movements, which is interesting because you don't hear many 8-year-olds starting out with their first jobs is like, oh, yes, now you have to match this lip movement exactly. But it's actually served very well for me learning how to do that at such a young age. Most people, even now, you might find in the industry, like they're asked to do dubbing and they're like, and it takes a little bit because it's difficult to speak, breathe, grunt, effort at the same speed and at the lip movements of the characters that are already been done on screen. But Martha Stewart's show was actually a lot of fun. It was about her, I think her childhood. I played one of her male friends, Kevin, and I was techie. I was a bit of a nerd. I think it was actually not her childhood, maybe her teen years. She had her 2 talking dogs. It was a funny show. It was really just funny. There was the Halloween special was great. It was just cute animation. I loved it. That was a fun job. The folks over at Bang Zoom where I recorded they were so nice to me. They were, I gush about the project. All I can do is really remember it fondly. They had a Wii in the waiting room, and I used to play Wii Sports before my recording session. They had all this fun bacon-flavored soda from the local Rocket Fizzes.
That's pretty cool.
I did love that show.
Hey, that's fun. That's cool. So you can say that you had a great childhood, and it's great when you're at 19, you can remember your past, and you're like, wow, it was so fun and memorable. And I have a question. If you could choose one or both, Marvel or DC?
I'd have to say Marvel on camera. If I had to choose animation, man, I loved some of those Batman TV shows, and I would love to be on a Batman TV show.
I think the world is going to move around, and you, Sean-Ryan, are going to be on a Batman TV show. The world's going to move, and the stars are going to glimmer and shine, and boom. Batman is for you. That's a pretty cool answer. I like that. I want to know what people think because they're such amazing brands. And have you noticed every major thing in this world has 2 competitive brands? Some people might say they're not competitive. They're their own. They're unique, man. Don't say that, Galaxy, dude. Come on. So look at this. Lowe's and Home Depot, McDonald's and Burger King, Pepsi and Coke, Marvel, DC. You get what I'm saying? So it's whatever you choose. Got a question. Have you run into any ghosts or aliens in any of your projects?
Oh, plenty. Gosh, there was a ghost alien in a recent episode of Victor and Valentino, the episode A New Dawn, where there's these star alien demon ghost type things. That was actually voiced by D. Bradley Baker. When I first heard him do that voice in the booth, it terrified me. Any screaming you hear in that episode, that was all natural. I was like, oh, woo, okay. That came out of somewhere.
That's funny. That's funny. You know, there's a lot of shows now about ghosts and aliens and things like that. Do you ever tune into any? Are you into that stuff? Does that ever cross your mind?
You know, I was very, very into Gravity Falls. Despite all my anime watching, I always made a little time for a show like that just because real folklore or interesting twists on classic tales like gnomes and, I don't know, headless horsemen. I've always found that sort of stuff interesting. And I like what Diego's doing with this because I myself am Latino, and there are all these aspects of my culture, all these myths, these folklores that I didn't really know until I started working on this show. So this has actually been a very educational experience for me overall, and I hope it's an educational experience for anyone watching it.
So you're connecting to your roots, and Diego's kind of opening your mind and the doors for you to learn more about what's up.
Yeah, that's what this show is, and I'm actually very happy to learn about my culture, and I'm very happy to voice on this project that'll hopefully help other young Latinos who may be feeling a little disconnected from their culture reconnect in their own way.
Hey, they can watch animation, connect with their culture, learn things. That's a pretty amazing thing to do, and you know, especially the youth. They're impressionable. So things like this with education twists in it, it's really cool. Now, Sean, I heard you had a birthday just a little bit ago. Happy birthday to you. It was around the Comic-Con time. Did you get to go to Comic-Con, or were you celebrating your birthday?
I was in SDCC, actually. I think my birthday was either the week after or the week before. It was the week after. That was a lot of fun, man. I love going to Comic-Con. Even if I'm not on a panel or anything like that, just the experience of walking around, you know, you'll see all these people in their costumes. They really going all out. It's just the vibe in there is just very pleasant. It's like, you know what? These people came together from all over, going all out to just be here, you know, meet people they love. And, of course, they have a great booth for dice for D&D, and, well, I spend a lot of money on dice. You never have too much dice. Never. Shiny math rock.
I always ask everyone if they got to go or if they get to go. And here's the thing. I recommend anyone going just to experience it. It's a cool world. I love the Comic-Con peeps. It's a whole world. Feel amazing by it. Well, for you, it was cool because, you know, Cartoon Network's always involved in Comic-Con. And if you're not in a panel, you get to at least be part of a brand that you work with. And it was really fun chatting with you, Sean-Ryan. You're a very cool guy, very smart, intelligent young man. If fans want to get a hold of you, how do they get a hold of you on social?
For social media, Instagram is at Sean-Ryan Petersen. That is SeanRyan. Peter, S-E-N, but I'm pretty sure by the time you type Ryan, you'll find me. For Twitter, it is Sean-Ryan MLP.
And what does the MLP stand for? Major League Player?
I mean, you said it, not me.
Oh, boy. Behind that nice, innocent voice, there's a player, huh? But you're probably meaning game playing, huh? Wink, wink.
Yeah, game playing, D&D. Yep, that's what it is.
Sure, buddy, sure. Well, you know, Sean-Ryan, it's been fun chatting with you. I like joking around with you. You're a cool kid. You're a cool young, let's not say kid, young man. And ladies and gems, Sean-Ryan Petersen. Watch him in Victor and Valentino on the Cartoon Network. He voices for major movies. He's making it happen. Catch him at a Comic-Con here and there. Support him. Go to Sean-Ryan Petersen on Instagram. Follow what he's doing. His page is really cool. I got to take a look at it. Nice stuff there. Follow him on Twitter. And Sean-Ryan, is there anything you want to tell the fans before we sign out?
I will be at Comic-Con, and I hope to see some of you. Thank you so much for having me, Galaxy. It's been an honor.
That's wonderful. And with that said, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is your boy Galaxy with Sean-Ryan Petersen. And we're signing out from another amazing episode of Comic-Con Radio. Sean, ready? Let's blow some kisses to the universe. 3, 2, 1. Mwah.
Mwah.
There you go. And with that, we got to say peace.
Deuces.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Galaxy signing out from another amazing episode of Comic-Con Radio. Tune in for your daily shows of Comic-Con Radio. Go to comiccon-radio.com. Reach us on social media, Instagram at Comic-Con Radio. Comic-Con Radio, taking the world one listener at a time.
I mean, you said it, not me.
Oh boy. Behind that nice innocent voice there's a player, huh? But you're probably meaning game playing, huh? Wink wink.
Yeah, game playing D&D. Yep, that's what it is.
Sure, buddy, sure.